What's up, you guys? I want to talk to y'all today about this video that I seen that's going around. The girl was basically trying to hold women accountable, and people was calling her a pick-me. And so she basically was like, y'all be calling me pick-me's because a lot of y'all agree with the wild behavior that you be on because you was raised by a side B. You was raised by, your grandmama was a side chick. Your mama was a side chick. A whole bloodline full of side chicks. Well, ultimately, this stuff, if you operate, and when you operating out of a certain kind of a mindset like that, that's a Jezebel spirit that's on you. This stuff is spiritual wickedness. It ain't nothing about all these new age terms, because they get the saying in the comments, it's 304s, all this stuff. They done went from, it used to be just a hoe, then it went to went from a hoe to a thought to a jump off to a 304 to all these different names for it. Ultimately, it's because these women are suffering from a Jezebel spirit that's been placed onto them, or that they were bred off of. Because if your mama a Jezebel, she's gonna raise Jezebels. Seeing that video where Carisha, and I just was talking to y'all about this in another video I just did about why the Black community is suffering, and just like over time, like saying little stuff about that, and even telling y'all my experience, like why I ended up in some of the situations I've ended up in. It's because of that mentality, like, but it's a spirit that was placed on you, and the only, like, it ain't no amount of therapy that's gonna heal you. No amount of therapy gonna heal you. You need God. You have to surrender to God. Because you're going to be in therapy. People have been in therapy for years and years and years. And therapy, it still ain't got you nowhere. It's helping you understand why you operate the way you are. But to heal that takes surrendering to God. That takes truly giving your life over to the Most High. That's what that takes. Because for me, I knew why I was the way I was. Well, I didn't know to the extent that the sexual abuse, you know, that I had been molested with the boy when I was younger. Like, I didn't understand a lot of that until I came on my spiritual journey, coming here to Texas, when God told me to, you know, move to Texas, and a lot of things opened my. I didn't even understand that I had a narcissist mother. I didn't understand none of this. I didn't understand none of this, and a lot of us don't understand who our parents really are. And it's not to say go ahead and just disrespect your parents and all of that, but you have to hold them accountable. And a lot of us do not hold our parents accountable because we are the way we are because of our parents. A lot of the men out here that hate women, they are like that because of the first mother, the first woman that they ever loved, the first woman that they ever knew. They're like that because of her. Their whole view on women is how their mama was. And then they see so many other women out here, and it's like, we do stuff that remind you of their mama and what she would do. And it's like, like, it's like a turn off. Just like a lot of us as women, we be like, we see a lot of stuff with these dudes that remind you of our dad. Some of the stuff might turn you on, but then some of that stuff is like a real turn off. It's like, it's giving you my daddy all over again. And I saw how wrong he was and how I felt about some of the stuff that he might have did to my mama or did to other women. Like, and it turned you off. And the girl was not wrong, because we don't hold ourselves accountable as women. We think that it's all just the men's fault. Everything is just the men's fault. But we don't hold ourselves accountable for us, for one, even allowing a lot of the stuff that we allow. Because we don't have no self-worth. We don't have no self-dignity. We don't know ourselves. We're lost in our identity, period. Especially as the Black community, like I've been talking about in these videos. We don't know who we are. We don't know we're the chosen people. We don't know we're God's chosen people. We don't understand why a lot of this stuff has happened to us. It's because we don't know who we are. We have went astray away from God, you know. And it's just funny because you are, like, it's biblical. You know a tree by the fruit it bears. And if you have kids that are these wild kids that are hoes and all of that, it shows where they get that behavior from. And you got some of these old hoes, these older ones, who they didn't grew up, you know, they up in age, maybe 50s now. So they try to cover up like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They try to dress it up a little better. Some of them don't try to dress it up a little better at all, but they try to dress it up a little better. and try to act like, oh, they don't, like they're above the rest of them. Ultimately, you're just a wolf in sheep's clothing because you still get down with that side chick behavior. I told y'all about that in my videos, and I this is why I put my business out there, because it's to really bring truth to us, because a lot of us, we don't like to be real. We so embarrassed, so ashamed. And one thing about me is I ain't ashamed of nothing, because everything I've been through made me this woman I am today. It's going to keep making me become the woman that I need to be, the mother that I need to be for my kids, so that they don't have to go through none of the stuff I went through, so that they don't think giving their bodies away is okay. To protect them from predators as a single mother, not being just pressed for a man, that I stick around with a nigga who I know is side-eyeing my kid, or a nigga that, a guy, I'm going to try to stop saying nigga, but a man that, yeah, you really bring a harm to the household, a man that might be beating on me. I'm not going to allow my kids to see none of that. So it's like, because of that, this is why I talk to my kids. Well, not my little baby, of course, but even like last night reading the Bible, reading the children's Bible to my daughter, and we was reading the part about, I was asking her, basically making her summarize, because she was like, we read that part already before. I was like, so then what was this part about? It was about the flood, or why did God tell Noah to build the ark? She was like, because there was a flood coming. And so I was basically like, yeah, because God wanted to flood the earth because of all the people that had went astray from him, and it was so much evil being done in the world. And I told her, I was like, it's a lot of evil that's in this world, and this is why mommy talk to you, and mommy teach you, and mommy wants you to know this stuff. And this is why mommy is even on this journey, because mommy had done things too, and mommy don't want you to do a lot of things that mommy have done, and mommy don't want you to be, I just don't want her to have to go through some of the experiences I went through. And the number one thing that I vow on protecting my kids from is having their innocence stolen, because a lot of this side chick behavior, this Jezebel spirit that we operate from, comes from being molested as a child, as a teenager, the boys and the girls. But nobody talks about this. People always talk about that surface level stuff, and that's why I'm here to talk about the real, because people make it seem like it's about whether you come from a two-parent household or a single mama household. Ma'am, people act like it's about whether you come from a single mama household or a two-parent household. Those are not the two categories that create great children. Because, I mean, look at your girl Krishan that's operating out here. She come from a two-parent married household. Her parents were married, two parents in the house with all of them kids. And look at the result. Look at what happened to, look at the child. Look at the fruit that they bear. Look at the fruit. Look how the oldest sister came out about saying that the stepdad, because the oldest two wasn't Krishan's dad's kids. But look at how he done molested the stepdaughter. And this is this two-parent household that was supposed to just be better. And even with my own cousins, like, I know so many people that come from two-parent households. A lot of I see in the comments, a lot of girls that come from two-parent households, they speak up about what the truth that was really going on. They speak up about how their mama really was a married single woman because she had to do everything for herself, and the daddies, they had to do nothing but just go out to work. And if he even did that, because you got a bunch of sorry husbands. A lot of these men should not even have been granted the title of having a husband, because they don't live up to that. Just like a lot of wives. Just because you're a wife don't mean that you don't still have a Jezebel spirit. It's plenty wives out here that still operate from a Jezebel spirit. Look at Kim Kardashian. That's a Jezebel spirit. But she was a wife. And where there's Jezebel, there's Ahab. Most times as a Jezebel, you get an Ahab type of man. Man who only looking at you for your beauty, for the sex that you put down on him, and that traps him and holds him in bondage to you. Because of the lust, the spirit of lust and the evil spirit, they both are demonic spirits. That spirit that you operating from. So now you get hurt by a Jezebel. And these Ahabs a lot of times are raised by Jezebels. They the ones who believe in dating married men, like the side chick mentality. And I know it because I know it from experience. That's why my mama was mad. I told y'all in that video, she was when I was reading to y'all that email she sent me, and she said I was telling her business because she stalking me on him. But it's just to bring the truth. And there was a lot of stuff, and as she would tell me certain things, or as I would see certain things, bless you, you know, and I done seen a lot of stuff growing up. My stepfather, I saw him cheat on my mama. I saw a woman giving him head in the front seat. I'm sleeping in the back seat. I saw him cheating on my mama with a woman that don't even look better than my mama. You cheating on her, and you already don't even contribute to the house like you supposed to. Y'all always fighting, arguing about money. You know, it's just, I've seen both sides. I done seen my mama in other men's faces and stuff while she married to my stepdaddy. And yes, my stepdaddy was like this, but I still loved him. Like, because he was the one that spent time with me. Like, I used to be with him a lot. Like, he was the one I used to be with. You know, my mama was at work. I wasn't with my daddy like that. Like, I was with my stepdad. So it was like, I still had a certain love for him. And even, you know, since I've been grown, like, I ain't talked to him in a couple months. I don't know if he ain't got my new number. But he's still the same too, living off of a woman. You done broke the thing, Ari. Do you want to take it out? But, you know, I still, because I was like his daughter. He ain't had no kids. He still got no kids. You know, and I recently had talked to him and stuff. But he's still the same. It's like, and he been grown now. It's like I have an understanding of a lot of this stuff. And it's certain things that I've seen my mama do that I just don't want to do. Like, you know, I'm not with that. And even with her, she tried to push that, at least if you're going to be with a man, if you're going to have, at least find a man that at least got some money. Like, Jezebels, they're so after a man's money. They're so after that. They're willing to be a side chick if he just breaking her off with a couple dollars to pay her bills. They're willing to sleep with him. Like, it's just like, to me, that's just having no morals. Like, to put yourself in a place where you come second to a man. Like, yes, a lot of the times the wife ain't getting treated no better. But still, that's her problem. You don't want to join and become a part of that and sign up for that circus. Like, it's just like, a man will never respect you. He'll never respect you. Like Yo Gotti said in that song. That song he got, Respect That You Earn. He said, yeah, a man's supposed to respect a woman, but a woman's supposed to give a man something to respect. And he's like, I'm going to give you the respect that you earn. And that you earn. What you make me do, that's what I will do. I'm going to give you the respect that you earn. I used to really love that song. Because it's true. We have to give them something to respect. Just like they have to give us something to respect. A lot of them are not great leaders, so we don't respect it. A lot of them are listening to what they Jezebel mama got to say, so we can't respect them. And ultimately, like I said, this spirit, this Jezebel spirit, because it's not no 304, no 504, no city girl, no thought, all these new age terms, these are spirits that we're operating from. Just like with the guys, these are spirits that they operate from. And oftentimes, when you have a Jezebel spirit, you sometimes have that, like I'm realizing, especially with, it's like, it can go two ways. Because for me, I operate from a Jezebel and an Ahab spirit. The Ahab is that people-pleasing stuff that I do. But the Jezebel is also having that control, that promiscuous, that I was operating from. That the promiscuity spirit that you're operating from. Just giving yourself up, thinking that's okay. And so many men and women have that spirit on them. And that's because ultimately that spirit was put onto you. That spirit was put onto you. Whether you were raised by a spirit like that, so they raised you to have that spirit, or whether you were abused, sexually abused. And a lot of these women, that's why I like all the tattoos all over the place. A lot of this stuff, like, because I know this, I can see a woman I can see it. Any woman, you know, people be judging these girls, and the reason why I don't judge them is because I know I can see that just by looking at you, I can see the pain on you. I can see what type of lifestyle you didn't came from, what type of childhood you didn't came from, just off of that. And some of y'all haven't been through that, so you don't understand it. So people come down so hard on these girls, just like we come down so hard on these type of guys, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, and all of that. They came from a lifestyle that would have broke you like it broke them. You probably would have been unalived yourself if you've been through some of the things that these people have been through, that some of us have been through. You would have been unalived yourself. So you don't understand. And if you didn't have to go through that, and you didn't have to grow up with demonic parents like that, you be blessed. Because just because you came up with 2 parents don't mean, you be lucky that you had 2 quality parents. Because it does not matter about having just any old 2 parents. They have to be 2 quality ones. 2 ones that have a godly soul, have righteousness. 2 ones that practice it too. Not just having that soul. Because a lot of us have that soul, but at the core we have that soul. Because we got all these different spirits placed on us, all this stuff, we can't truly operate in that true righteousness that we're supposed to be. You know, and then you got these girls that operate fully from their that demonic entity that's living in them. They operate fully from that. This is why they seek to devour men. This is what, and I was operating like that too. I'm like, I don't give a damn about none of you niggas. Like, I even still don't. Like, I'm not purposely here to go after them, to attack them and stuff like that now. But at the end of the day, I still don't care about them like that. I still don't. You know, I don't want them to, I'm talking about in the sense of wanting to bring them down or just wanting to get with them just to suck their soul out of them and then leave them to dust. Like, when you operate from that mentality where you just want to use a man and disregard him and, you know, and just treat him like maybe you were treated, that's operating from a demonic spirit. Because you feel like, oh, it was done to me, let me do it to them. And oftentimes when you've had a harsh history with men, or if you've had a harsh history with women, your mindset becomes, all right, the next one, I'm taking down every girl after this. I'm taking down every dude after this. When you get your heart broken by a certain type of guy, depending on what type of spirit you operating from, you like, okay, every dude after you, it's on. Every girl after you, it's on. So it's like, we really just got to understand, you know, everybody come from different walks of life. And if you didn't come from certain things, you don't get certain things. But then you got the girls out here. Because I just see it too often. I'm like, I was talking about this in that video about black people suffering with this whole Carisha, with her promoting being peed on and stuff. And then you're going to have girls that's looking up to that. But even if it don't go to that extent, you got girls that didn't come from these lifestyles that these other girls come from. You don't have, you're not a city girl. You're not a hoe. But yet you want to have a whole phase because these hoes is promoting it. Because one thing I said, like I said in that Krishan video, the devil pushes because he wants destruction. So if he wants destruction, he's going to put all the faces of destruction on front line. He's going to put all influencers that promote putting this fix-a-flat in your body, getting these big old butts and getting all of this dressing, you know, these provocative ways and selling sex and WAP and all of that, and selling all of the things that are meant to destroy the community. They're going to promote that. So you got the girls that's on front line. A lot of the people that are front line, a lot of your influencers, celebrities, a lot of them are Jezebel spirited women, Jezebel spirited men. So they're promoting destruction. So the people who are growing up listening to them, people who are just listening to them, period, because they be grown women listening to these young girls, taking bad advice from young girls, when you should have far more experience to know better than that. But you have some of them out here promoting destruction to our community. You got the men out here promoting to not be providers, promoting to treat women like trash. You got them promoting that stuff. So young dudes who maybe ain't have a daddy, maybe ain't grow up in a healthy household, and they out here just consuming this information, because a lot of times we are what we consume. What you feed your brain is what you become. So now you feed in your brain is by what you watch, what you eat, the stuff that you take in. If you don't have a strong enough mind, you will let that stuff get into your head, and then you'll start trying to adapt to that stuff. Because a lot of people seek to fit in so bad. That's why I can't stand for one of the girls. I was saying this in the other video, and there's a lot of girls that do that. You're not these girls. You talking about getting flued out, and a dude buy you a purse, and all of that stuff. You not that girl. These girls are them girls because of the lifestyle that they live, the lifestyle that they have been through. You ain't lived that life, but you're trying to conform to that so you can fit in. You don't even really believe in sleeping around with a multitude of dudes. When some of these girls really believe in sleeping around with a multitude of dudes, they think that that's okay. And you trying to fit in with them because they have this it girl aesthetic and this it girl shit that they got going on. Like, it's just a bunch of demonic spirits that's leading the people astray. And this is why God had to deliver me from that evil spirit and get the courage for me to get up here and talk my stuff. Because for one, I don't care what the people be chatting about in the comments anyway. If you showing love, cool. But if you talking your little mess, I don't really care about that because I know the real of both sides. I've been on both sides. So I know the side I'm operating from now versus the side that I used to operate from, because God has delivered me from that Jezebel spirit. He has delivered me from wanting to control, devour, He's delivered me from that. From being a hoe, giving my body up. He's delivered me from feeling like I owe these niggas my body. I don't owe him. I don't owe you nothing. You know, and that's why I'm wanted to become, because I always want to become a better person. I don't want to teach my kids that it's okay to settle for nothing. I don't care. It ain't about, just like I told my daughter last night, when you grow up, you're going to start to date. You know, you're going to like guys, and you don't just give your body to them. If they not marrying you, if they not coming, you don't just marry anything. I'm not teaching my daughter to just marry anything because society say you got to be married. I'm not teaching my daughter that, because that's where a lot of women lose themselves in those type of situations. You marrying just for the sake of saying you marry, and now you marrying a lowlife, you're marrying a clown, you're marrying a pedophile, you marrying a man that's on a DL who's secretly messing around with men, like a lot of these dudes are doing these days. You need to read the room and look at some of these other videos that's going on here and pay attention to the signs that dudes be even giving off to you. Because I can really talk about that. Excuse me. But that's a whole different video. That's a whole different video. Because the signs be there. The signs be there. And we need to just be just tread lightly on who we're dealing with. Yeah. This is why women got to stop being so desperate for love. We need to heal. Because when you don't heal, and but oftentimes, because I was like that. I didn't even know that. I'm thinking I'm good. Like, ain't nothing wrong with me. If you the type that smoke all the time, drink all the time, every single day, like having sex with different men every single day, you're doing a lot of destructive behaviors, you got something that you need to be working on. You got some healing that you need to do. Because you're not just doing those things for no reason, but a lot of times we don't understand the reason why we're really doing that stuff. Because when you're not self-aware, you don't get it. You don't know. It takes to truly be self-aware and holding yourself accountable and having people around you that hold you accountable as well. Because a lot of times people just want to have you around for whatever benefit it is, and they ain't willing to really tell you about yourself. Like I even told y'all, it was because of her dad who was like, you don't know your worth. And I'm like, you're right. You're right, because if I knew my worth, I wouldn't have never messed with you. I would have never messed with you if I truly knew my worth when I started messing with you. Not to say that he's a complete bad guy, because at his core, I could see at his core he has a godly soul, but he has so many demonic spirits on him that he's now possessed. You know, and that's why when I do talk to him, I reach out to him and I preach God over him. I preach stuff about him really surrendering his life to God, because God has a calling on that dude. God has a calling on a lot of our life. But like he said, so many are called, but few are chosen, because many of us don't answer the call in our life We running from the real feelings that's inside because we want to fit in with society and want to look and appease to all these people that's around us and appease to your family members who are self-destructing themselves and have been self-destructing themselves for years. You can't try to live up to everybody else means. You got to do what's best for you. You can't try to please society. But a lot of us, it's a lot. I can see it. One thing about me, like I said, because I was a Jezebel, and even still, like, I've let up a lot of that control. And I'm just really learning that I don't have to, like I told y'all in the other video I did, I don't have to control all of it. I don't have to have this much control. I don't. But one thing I am going to do is I'm going to protect my kids. I'm going to protect myself. And I'm not going to be with anything or anyone and do things that is going to bring me down. I'm not going to stay in relationships that you're destroying me spiritually and mentally, emotionally. Because it ain't about just the physical damage. You don't have to put your hands on me at all. But if you emotionally abusing me, I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that since a child. I've had enough abuse. Enough. So when you get to a point where you've had enough, and it's like, when you get to that point, you realize it's just certain stuff that you're not going to tolerate no more. I don't care about having no image to please the world, about having a 2-parent household when I'm only dealing out in the world for a couple hours out of my day. It matters how home feels. And that's why for me, I'm not going to have no toxic men in my household. I'm not going to have no lazy men in my household. I'm not going to allow my daughters to see a lazy man in our house. I'm not going to allow my daughters to see men around that's not, even with their fathers. You spend time. That's why me and my kids' dad, I'm going to always be on their ass. And that's just what it is, because when my daughter come with you, you need to be making sure you're giving her your undivided attention. You don't need to have this girl and this girl over the house and all of that when you only get her for a certain amount of time. You need to be spending that time with your daughter. And once she go to sleep, if you want to bring her over and stuff like that, cool. But she only get limited amount of time with you. So when she with you, you need to be giving her that undivided attention. Taking her out like they do, like, you know, like they would do and stuff. But even with that, but I'm not going to be with you because you're tearing me down. And like a lot of us, we've seen our women, we've seen our moms and grandmamas and stuff. We see them look run down because they trying to be there for this man and the kids. But you got a man that's not pouring into you. He doing nothing but destroying you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. He's bringing you down. And in turn, when you are that type of woman, because we can't pour into our children, we can't be the mothers that we need to be to our children if we're not even right. We can't teach our children the right way if we're not even doing the right way. Children do as they see, not what they're told. And that's what I had to tell my mom, like, you can preach these things to me, but I see you still doing this stuff at your big age. You still dealing with low quality men that you know don't deserve you. You still on that Jezebel activity at your big age because you have not healed. You haven't healed from your childhood wounds. But then you want to talk to me about my baby dads, and you want to say the stuff that you say about me, but you're still being side chicks. You're still doing this activity. And no, it's not to tell her business, but this is just to be real about what's really going on. This is really why we are growing up as these type of girls turned women, because we're being raised by them. These dads are not teaching their sons nothing but how to go out here and have sex. And they're not even really teaching them how to make sure they properly please the woman with having sex. They just teaching you how to drop dick in her. Drop babies in her and leave. Or drop babies in her and pick and choose when you want to show up. Or drop babies in her and just send money and don't spend no time with the child. They're teaching their sons this stuff. Women are teaching their sons and daughters this stuff. It starts with the parents. It starts with the tree. It starts with the seeds that you're planting. And a lot of us have just been really led astray. And it's ultimately because so many people, we need God. Ultimately, you need God in your life. You need to really give your soul to God and stop trying to be pleasing your parents, idolizing your parents. Because God said to put nobody before him. The first 4 commandments is about idolizing and putting other people before him because he is a jealous God. But yet, that's the number one thing that we do is put everything and everybody before him. And then we wonder why we constantly self-destructing. We wonder why the nation is in shambles. Them kids that go shooting up schools, they not black, they white. And a lot of times they come from 2-parent households. A lot of these people I see in the narcissist and Dr. Romney comments, they ain't all black. And they came from just the same amount of destruction. You know how many white dads? Look at how even Biden and Trump was doing with them girls. Like, come on, y'all. We really need to wake up. We really need to wake up. Because it's not about just black people, white people, polka dot people. It's not about just married people, single people. It's the quality, the spirits that are on these individuals. What, Ari? It's about the spirit that's on these individuals. And they're destroying their young. They're destroying the youth. The Amber Alert system, that was placed in place because of a white girl. Because of what was being done to a white girl. So don't act like it's just because you black or just because you come from a single parent household. It depends on the quality of the parents that are raising these children. The quality of the friends that you allow them to hang out with. And because the devil is really running rampant in God's kingdom, this is where a lot of this come from. But it's like, if you're not teaching, you have to teach your kids. If people so afraid to be real with their children, I'm 100% real. My daughter's 6. She'll be 7 this year. I'm 100% real with her. And any kids that's her friend, just know when you come over here, you getting a real. I don't care if your mama hide it and all that. Don't come around here. Don't send your kids around here if you don't want no real talk to them. Just like her little friend, her best friend, you know. And I'm glad that they feel comfortable, whatever. But her little friend, you know, she really gravitates towards me and stuff. And I pick them up from daycare sometimes. Or I pick the friend up too. And this one day, she was like, they was talking about her and my daughter she told me, she was like, I got a crush on some boy that's in the daycare or whatever. She was like, I want to kiss him. I said, you ain't kissing no damn body. Like, you better not put your lips on him. You is only 6 years old. You don't need to be worried about no damn kissing. And I always tell Ceylon, you better not kiss not a damn soul. You don't do, I tell her all of that stuff about these little boys. Because I was around that age when that stuff happened to me. Giving head at that young of an age. Being that, like, because of other kids that's getting that stuff done to them at home, and then they coming out and they think that that's what the relationship between man and woman is supposed to be at that early of an age. Or between man and man or whatever. Like, this is why you gotta really teach your kids what's really going on out here. Don't be thinking that every man out here is meant to come in your life as a saving grace. That every father out here, every mother out here is just because they have those titles that they live up to them, because they don't. I don't play around with that stuff because I know what happened to me. So, no, I don't trust my daughter around a bunch of other kids. And I make sure I keep it real with her and her friend. No, you don't need to be doing that. It's like people need to start being real, but so many people run from the truth because it's so hard to face the truth. It takes you truly being, for one, accepting who you are. That's why so many in the closeted men, so many people that are just afraid to come out, afraid to be themselves. People are not confident in who they are, don't know who they are, and then they passing along just all type of wickedness amongst the community. And we need to start teaching our children. We need to start doing the work. The moment you find out you're pregnant, you need to be going on a spiritual healing journey. You need to be picking up your dang on Bible and really learning and really building a relationship with God. It ain't even about just picking up the Bible. Because I got my relationship with God before I even ever touched that Bible. I used to just talk. Didn't even know I was talking to God, but just talking out loud about my problems, about what I want for myself, just about everything, all the issues, no matter what it is. And I didn't even know I was talking to God. Didn't know. I built a relationship with God unknowingly just because I talk to myself. And people be trying to condemn people for talking to themselves, but me talking to myself has led me right to where I am today, right into my purpose, led me right into becoming this better healed version of me. Yes, I still got a lot of healing to do, still do. But ultimately, it's been the best thing for me. It's been the best thing for me. And God has released, he's released that Jezebel spirit up off of me. And if he could do it for me, he can do it for you. And I can just, the internet, social media is filled with Jezebels, men and women. Filled. Some people just disguise theirs a little better. But it's never okay to play second. It's never okay to just let nobody treat you like a doormat. You're not a doormat. That's what doormats are for. Doormats are meant to be stepped all over. You go outside with the mud and come bring it back. Doormats are, the purpose of a doormat is to be treated harshly. You're a human. It is not in God's calling for you, in God's will for you to be treated no less than. And we need to understand that and stop selling ourselves short. Stop allowing men to just treat us any kind of way. For the men, they need to stop allowing women to treat you any kind of way. Have some balls. You got the balls. Stand up and grip them. Get a grip on them in the right way and stop using it in all the wrong ways. But ultimately, it be bloodlines full of Jezebels, bloodlines full of Ahabs, just bloodlines full of these demonic spirits. Somebody has to break the curse. Break the curse. Because what y'all don't realize is a lot of your parents who are demonic, grandparents, great-great-grandparents, a lot of them who operate from these demonic spirits, they sign contracts with the devil. Man, get off the phone. And this is why it's being passed down from bloodline to bloodline to bloodline. Protect your children for women. So many women. This is why I think, like, why they say the stigma of single mothers, because a lot of single mothers just, you gotta have a man. You'll leave your kids. I be trying. Y'all know, sometimes I be name dropping and stuff, and I don't be trying to get too specific, but I just know it too. I see it right now, and you know, in the situation I'm in right now. Y'all know where I'm at right now, and to see some of these women in here. You'll leave your kids to go hang out with a nigga. You living in a shelter. What are you hanging out with any dudes for? You got bigger fish to fry. What are you bringing your dudes around another nigga for when you already got 2-3 baby daddies? That's why I said for me, no man will ever. Aubrey, can you get off the phone? No, I will never date again until my kids are grown. I don't even, honestly, because I'm so into my purpose, I just don't have room for that, because I know what it takes to have a man. I don't have the capacity to be available like that. I don't have the capacity to compromise like that. I'm in a selfish season. I'm tired of compromising. I'm tired of that. So I don't even have it in me. I just don't have it in me. And I definitely don't believe in bringing them around my kids. I will not, no other man will ever meet my children, even if I do decide to date again. I don't have a desire to be married. I don't have a desire to do none of that. All I want is peace and happiness in my soul, in my mind, and in my physical life. That's it. I want to just be a mom, be fully present with my kids, because I didn't have no parents that was just fully present for me. That's all I really care about. So I don't need to have jump offs. I don't need to give my body away. I no longer feel the need to give my body away to men that don't even deserve it. Like, this is a temple. This is precious, especially when, you know, at this point, you know, I know how to, yeah, you know. So it's like, I don't even feel like you're worthy of even giving you a good time. Even if you are here just for a good time, I don't even have the capacity to feel like you deserve a good time from me. Go get that good time from somebody else. If somebody else can give it to you, go get it from them. I don't want nobody settling for me, and I don't want to settle for nobody else anymore either. If we're not spiritually aligned, I don't want you. And we just need to ultimately teach our kids better. We need to become better so we can teach our kids better. We need to set examples. You cannot set an example from somebody if you're doing this stuff But then you're telling them to do these things, but you're doing the complete opposite, and they're watching you. Your kids watch what you do. They're not watching what you're telling them. They're watching what you're doing. They're watching what the men around you are doing, what the women around you are doing. They're seeing that. And then we'll say, do as you told, not as you see. But no, you need to be the thing that they're seeing. You need to hold up to that standard that you're telling them. That's why for so long with my mom, I used to be like, well, you did this, well, you doing this, so how are you telling me this? You know, it's because I'm still seeing what you're doing. I'm still seeing what you're doing. You're telling me this, and you telling me to at least just date a guy with money. And even if she was telling her friend that, because her friend used to want to get married before she had kids. And ultimately, she was never able to have kids because now she's older. When she finally got married, you know, she was older. She almost 50 years old. Well, she's 50s, in her 50s. You know, and she finally got married. And now she can't have no kids, but she got her husband's grandchildren, and that's who, you know. But she said she used to tell her for years, to tell her, just get with a man that at least got some money. That way, if he don't step up, at least you could just get some child support. You can get some money from him. And this is why you do got to be careful to listening to some of your friends that's like that. Because everybody's not the same. Like for me, I never saw, I mean, just the marriages that I seen around me, I wasn't taught to marry anyway. But even off of seeing my own mama, that wasn't nothing that I wanted. I don't see none of these. I don't see the benefit in it. Because I know what I want for my life. And I haven't met no guys that is in alignment with the vision that I have for my life. I want to set up my kids for success. I don't want them to have to go through a lot of the things I went through. Financially, having to do everything, having to do all of this stuff for yourself in college, not like having to take out all these loans, having to do all this. My kid's not going to do that. Because I'm paving the way now. And this is why I spent all my 20s going through everything I've been through. Learning, unlearning, just becoming a better person. It's because I don't want my kids to have to go through that. I don't want them to have to go through that. I want to tell them the real. Of course, they're going to go out into the world and still do some of the things that they do. But ultimately, I want them to know better, and I want to set them up for success. I'm not going to have them taking out all these loans and all of that, messing their credit up from when I'm putting it in. I just want them to be educated in this stuff. And this is why I'm doing the work, so I can properly lead my children. Because it takes a great leader, a quality parent, to properly lead your children. Doesn't matter about two households, one household. It's the quality of those parents. Because so many girls have dads that live in the home and still go out here and become baby mamas. I mean, I just see it. Girls I grew up with, they had daddies. Now they had their dads in the house. My one friend I grew up with, her dad, it's like he didn't like her or something. Like, he was just with the mama. Her mom loved her. Like, I loved how her and her mom relationship was. But the daddy, he went to work, came home. Like they were saying, he took no interest in his daughter. So you're there, but you're not really present. You're just there. You're not present. You're not spending no time with her. You're not really talking to her unless you talking at her, taking her door off the hinges, doing stuff to her like that. You're showing her that men's supposed to be cruel to you, supposed to ignore you. That's what you're showing your daughter. You know, so it's just like, and look, she's 2 baby daddies. Well, I don't know. She got a second baby, but I don't know if it's by a different dude. And she came up in a 2-parent household. I know another girl went to school with. She got 3 baby daddies. Her parents are still married. So it's something lacking there. It doesn't mean because you come up with a 2-parent household, married parents, all of that, that doesn't define who the kids turn out to be. But what I do believe and know for a fact is a lot of children are being sent off here or sent off there, or even at home in their own house with these wicked dads, these wicked moms, and they're snatching at these children's innocence. So that's my little take on this. We need to do better. I really can talk for hours and hours about this type of stuff. But we just gotta get it together, y'all. We need to heal. Because it's not okay. It's not okay to be like all the diseases flying around out here. It's just nasty. And that's why I don't understand how women can willingly, even guys, you willingly sign up to be a side chick, or you willingly sign up to, well, for the guys. But that, like I said, that's another video. Because a lot of guys, you're purposely deceiving the girl with you with. You purposely... Well, what? You always got to do too much. You purposely deceiving your wife by going out here messing with gay guys or messing with your homeboys on the low. Like, that's something that people ain't... That's some real stuff. That's real rap. That's some real rap. It's just the devil is on the black community hard. He on us hard. He on us hard. God trying to wake us up. And it's like oftentimes it takes for the devil to stay on you for you to finally like surrender. Like, I can't keep living like this. You losing your soul. But I gotta go. Cause she being bratty. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.